Hello, everybody. How you doing on this lovely Tuesday again? Closing out this May. May flowers, showers. We got a lot of rain this past week. A lot has happened this month, including with the situation of last month, and I'm bringing it up because we're not letting it go. We're not letting go of the injustice that has been going on far beyond the day of that reckoning. There's so much injustice, so much that's going on. I just want to also just keep it predominantly focused on the fact that, do you care about your self-care? Yeah. And I said all that and then said, do you care? Is because you can't just walk past the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just every day just, I'll put it off for tomorrow. No, you can't keep doing that to yourself. You can't keep doing that to the future. And you can't keep doing that to the little offsprings that you have in your family, your ohana. So today's podcast episode is accountable actions, because we have to take actions to things when we see that something is wrong. And even when nothing is wrong, it's still best to have an action plan, something of prevention, like harm reduction. You know, for ourselves here in Tier 1, we live harm reduction. We live Tier 1, because not everything that may seem like it's a problem is a problem, and everything that may seem like a problem may not be as much of a problem as you may think it. But as long as you're exuding the understanding of harm reduction, you are more founded in a safe zone than you would be in a zone of dysfunction. You know what I'm saying? I was still too dark with that light. I hear that. Yeah. I mean, I'm in the alleyway, right? Akon standing next to me. Somebody say yeah. So, for accountable actions, right? We have a quote for today's podcast, and there's no one that says this, but I guess the person that's reading it. I did have AI help, and I want to stem that out because it's good to get help from not just AI but your team. I sat down. I didn't sit with everyone on the team, but I sat with those on the team because this is a team effort. It's not just I, though a lot I have done, but that's not what this is about. This is about sharing the work. And so the quote says, true accountability is understanding that True accountability is understanding that while we are focused I don't know what am I reading, and I typed this out. The quote of the day says, true accountability is understanding that while we are forced to rebuild our lives and families in isolation, we cannot afford to remain passive citizens. To love our community is to demand stability for ourselves, protection for our children, and unyielding, merciless refusal to accept a system designed only to shield the wealthy. And before I just jump into the questions, I just want some takes, at least from 2, maybe 3 individuals out in the crowd that had that, looking at it, reading it, and even for the audience viewing, type out in the comment section below what you take from this quote. Anyone? Do 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 do. I think I'm gonna put that on the.
So what I take from this quote: if you don't vote, then you don't even stand what this quote is about. In order to take responsibility for yourself and help your community, you need to vote for the things that's for your community. People who says my vote doesn't count, I don't understand why they would complain after an election.
Yeah.
So by us not voting, allow things to happen. And there's a lot of people right now wish they would have voted different ways because of the way that our society is being ran. So we the people have the power to change things if we vote. And this is that simple.
Will there be another? No? You said somebody said our ancestors fought to vote? And that is true. That is definitely true. Our ancestors fought, died, went in days without sleep, got verbally abused, sexually abused, sold off from family members, isolation on them to the max. For you to say your vote don't count, but we have another. Go ahead.
I know y'all probably not gonna agree with me on this.
Hey, agree to disagree.
This voting thing, I'm in favor of it. It's cool when the people can come together and put the right people in the right places to get the right things done. But on more times than not, it just don't go that way. Especially like when you under a certain bracket or whatever, okay, you get enough voices together, it's supposed to mean something. But if those voices are in the wrong place, it falls to nothing, and I've got a good healthy taste of that. But like, regardless how I feel about who's in the office or who I vote for, like the same bullshit, pardon my language, the same bull stuff is going on. You know what I mean?
So in other words, it's kind of like, even if you vote for the person that you want and they win, at some point you're not gonna see, like we and I get what you're saying, because we've seen it repetitively. Like, we've seen more of what they didn't do that they said that they was gonna do when they get in office than when we seen what they did when they was in office. So some of that is like a discrepancy of, I'm gonna make sure minimum wage go up. And we're living in a time where we're finding out minimum wage is supposed to be $66.
Well, the bad news is like this been going on for centuries, bro. It ain't nothing new, It's like all types of wicked stuff be going on with that politics stuff, man. But I get it. If people can vote and make the right person do the right thing, I'm all for it. But a lot of times it just don't be like that. I had to say it again.
Thank you for your take. Well, you heard it from some of the viewers, and for those sitting out there that have something to say, please, like I said, put it in the comment section of the podcast on the YouTube, Facebook, and more than likely we'll get back to you, or possibly make another episode tying back to this topic of accountable actions. So let's just jump right into the juiciest part of the podcast. Just the whole point of why people even watch podcasts, to hear the questions and then hear what other people have to say that may reflect on what they're feeling or thinking and going through. Are you guys ready? Yeah. All right, let's get this in. For question number 1, how have we as American citizens failed in our collective accountability to hold this system to account? And what does it look like to pursue that solidical love with absolute zero mercy for the institutions that abandon us? Societal. Ooh, I'll reread that. Yeah. But I'm gonna reread it societal. How as we as American citizens failed in our collective accountability to hold this system to account, and what does it look like to pursue that societal love with absolute zero mercy for the institutions that abandon us? Hold on. So we get you in the camera.
If you're not accountable yourself, you can't hold nobody else accountable. My whole thing is Paterson has over 60,000 registered voters.
84,000.
84,000. And there was a little over, what,
23,000.
23,000 that voted.
Wow.
23,000 that voted, and you have 83. So that's 60,000 people did not vote. You cannot say nothing to me about nothing if you're not doing nothing. You are the problem.
That's right.
You are the problem, and when you want to say something about the problem, you're the problem because you're not doing anything to try to change that problem. You had how many? This is the most amount of people I ever seen running for council.
At large.
It was so many, and then the top go-getter had only 5,000, a little over 5,000 votes.
6,000.
6,000. The new young lady that just came,
Paula.
Paula. And then then the other is just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It makes the mayor got elected
Again.
with under 8,000 votes. When you have 83,000 people voted, registered, and the mayor won what 7,500, something like that. That's the problem right there.
They're not going out.
I want to ask something. Being that we always get a mail-in ballot registration in the mail, and then they always do a count. And most times when you show up to those places to vote, and some people may feel like this is a little discrepancy, but once you fill out your mail-in ballot and you register to vote, and the day of voting comes, and they do the count. For those that did not, I would say gone and vote. Do you think there should be a letter or a recount or something like something that lets it be known that there's a discrepancy within the community? As a community, we should be able to look at each other and be like, all right, other than you went and you got a sticker. Some people lie and say, oh, I went and I voted, but they don't have the sticker, or they don't take the picture outside of the building from when they voted. Like are the shit.
And not only that, if you don't vote 3 consecutive times in that year, they kind of take you off the ballot, take you off the voting status. So you have to vote those 3 times within that year, because they have at least 5 elections. So you have to vote at least 3 times. But they don't take us off because there's people on there that's almost 200 years old. And so that's where you get all these other people going to vote for them, using their age and name or whatever, and go vote.
I was just about to say something about that. You sure that person 100 or 200 years old? Do they even exist? You know, but
they don't exist, but somebody's existing in their name. So you have that going on as well. But then, like he said, if you don't vote, or if you don't teach the next generation to vote, you had the largest amount of youth learning how to vote when President Obama was running. Because you have to tap into that next generation.
Right.
So this way it can make a difference. Okay, I know these people. I seen these, I sit around them or whatever. So I want somebody different. The only time you're gonna get somebody different if you get another group, another generation to vote for them.
oh, we put somebody in there like that we want, not they want. Yeah, because actually I feel like that's the biggest problem that we have. We're always voting for someone that's popping up from out of somewhere. Not saying that they didn't do something to be there, but as we know, our government is corrupt. As we know, as the voters, the people who are the backbone of the financial system and money pool of this government, we're electing individuals that we're paying to just be there and look like they're running things, but in all actuality, there's nothing really being done for the ones that move the money, make the money, and are the actual benefactors of what our government is originally supposed to have stood for, which changed almost 100 years ago from being brought out in 1921. But that can be a hoax because it's said in a piece of paper that that's a lie, but yet 5 families brought America for only $2 million. But we're not even going to get into that story, but that's what happened. That's actually what happened. I want to get back to that another day because I don't want to deter too much away from what this is, but that is something that I wanted to spew out there because we have to remember this is not America. This is a business.
Yeah, and you gotta also know that basically when you vote, your vote really counts at the lower level, at the local level. Mm-hmm. And then it goes up as far as local, state, assembly, and so forth.
Almost like corporate.
Yeah, absolutely. And I read a quote the other day where that guy that's sitting in office called Democrats. Mm-hmm. Democrats, and then somebody came back and called the Republicans Republicans. You see what I'm saying? So you gotta be careful of who, like, you know, and then it's go back and forth with these theories and these quotes, quote unquote. Yeah, like it's crazy because at the end of the day, you're supposed to be running the country. You're supposed to be running the city. You're supposed to be running. I just think back in the day they didn't pay council people. So let's see if you really want this job and don't get paid.
It's serving.
They ain't gonna want it. They're not gonna want it.
Yes. So it's serving. Okay, because tier 1 serve the community. Mm-hmm. Okay, so why the council gotta get paid and tier 1 not getting paid?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all get paid, but anyway, at the end of the day, this is about taking care of your community. This is taking care of my family next door, my family down the block, my family around the corner. That's what it's about. It's not always about the money. Like you said, minimum wage supposed to be $66.
Yeah.
That was back in 2000. Now it's $25. Now it's 2025. So you add another $10, $15 on that. But like you said, the wealthy, it shields the wealthy because they get paid. If
taxes and shit.
Yes.
After a while.
Yeah, they get once they get to 184,000, they don't have to pay tax.
I just gotta ask, what sense is it for a company that pays people to work, right? And they get funding from the government, like for each one person, based off of your depending on where you work and what that establishment is based off of, and whatever their LLC or nonprofit is, they off of your social security number, when they apply you to their system, the government sends them almost $26,000 to $5,000 of a grant just to pay you. But then when that money gets distributed, you're probably only getting about $16 an hour, maybe $22 an hour out of that money, and what's ever left over, they pocket. So imagine if I have about 400 workers and I'm getting that same amount, but I'm underpaying them just to solidify, keep my business afloat. Not to an extent, I wouldn't say it's wrong, but I definitely ain't gonna say it's right, because you're cheating other people out of their actual worth. Just for your own personal gain. And then if I go get tax exemption for paying you extra money, and not when I really should be paying you extra, but I'm getting tax exemption so that I don't have to pay you extra in taxes. I don't have to really concern myself too much about healthcare and all that, prevention and all that stuff for you for about 20, 30 years. I done made more money than anybody now. I made so much money that I'm going to just keep doing this to you, because I keep getting the exemptions. and I'm getting extensions, and I'm probably poisoning the air, poisoning your children with school books and indoctrination. I'm doing all of this. I'm doing all of this because they're letting me, and they're letting me do something. But let's get to question number 2.
I just wanted to say, like, and you also have to think about the people that the candidates don't do anything for. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm gonna keep it on me. I'm not gonna go out and vote for somebody just to cast a vote. You know what I mean? Like, if none of the candidates don't move me, I'm not giving nobody my vote. You know what I mean? And like that can be a blessing and a curse.
Yes, it is.
You know what I mean? Because like you really want somebody in there that's really going to fight for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, who's to say? Like, this is my thing. Any candidate that always focuses on what the other person did. This person did this. This person did that. This person did. I don't want to hear that. What are you going to do? What have you done? I already seen on the news what he done and what she done. I want to know what you going to do. I want to know how you going to change. How you going to change what's going on out here. You know what I mean? And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
All right, now you make me want to step back just for a little bit, because you said that. Dang, my crew said time. All right, so we probably gonna return on this episode for another part 2. For question number 2, how do we practice a love for our people that acts with zero mercy towards the state that left us to fend for ourselves?
I'm gonna say just like that. I mean, okay, like if I'm practicing love for my people, I'm not worried about what society or where I feel society has left me to fend for myself or let me dangle. You know what I mean? I'm too busy trying to move on. I gotta get past that, because if I get stuck on that, I ain't gonna be able to show love to the people that I care about. You know what I mean? And this is just for me. You know, like that's another. That's like, a blessing can be a blessing and a curse. You know, you gotta some things you gotta take on the chin. You know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta take one for the team. You know, I mean, it's not right, it's not fair, but it's the reality of the thing. You know what I mean? Because like, what you gonna do? Storm City Hall and start knocking stuff off the desk?
First off, we saw
firsthand what will happen. But because I'm going to keep it real, forget what anybody may say, but because of what's on your skin, you ain't even going to make it to the steps. You won't make it to the steps. Oh, we see him coming.
So like, you either got to try to dodge that bullet when you see him whip out the gun, figuratively, or like, once you get hit, take it and run with it, you know what I mean? And just try to hopefully it don't cause as much damage as it can, you know what I mean, so that you can still function after that and not get stuck on the fact that it's his fault that
stuck in the blame.
You know what I mean? Like, nah, like that's not how I operate. You know, like anything that happens, you know what I mean? Like, I try to do damage control in the beginning. I try not to set myself up to get caught up in any type of situation that may harm me. You know, so like, so if anything does, then I gotta blame myself for that. You know what I mean? For allowing it to happen, because like, if you see a truck coming down the street, you ain't gonna just stand there. You gonna jump out the way.
It's funny you say that, but I'm gonna put a twist to a story, because this is how I'm viewing the world that we're in today. We're out in the wilderness and we're reaching that 40-year mark. You know what I'm saying? We're reaching that 40-year mark, and we have a bunch of young, very highly capable, talented, mentally sounding young people in this world today. Some you may see on TV, people just putting narratives to them, but there's always a reason to the madness. Not saying that it's right, but I'm using them because of what I just said. We're in a, from my perspective, we're in a reaching a 40-year mark. If you read your Bible, you should know what I'm talking about. It's coming, and it's inevitable. Something is about to burst. Something so massive that neither the elder or those my age, I would say in the middle, can stop, because the ones behind us, just like myself, do not see the world the way that you saw the world 80 years ago, 70 years ago, 60, 50. I'm going to keep going down, 40, 30, 20, 10 years ago. It is not the same view in their eyes. They are not feeling the same hurt that you are feeling. They are not keeping their mouths closed about the same thing that you kept your mouth closed on. You have to understand that and accept that. Stop neglecting it. Because if you do, you will start to become a part of the problem that they want to eradicate. So if you don't want to be a part of the eradication, you need to eradicate your thinking and evolve, change the problems that is arising or have been already in your face. And let's move forward together with love, mercy, but be merciless in the sense of being stern in what we know that we need to change effectively as a mass, a whole within this nation. As we is everyone ready to move on, or do they still have any remarks? All right, because I see it's a little touching. It's like, man, he talking about the government. Man, this is like talking about that person that owe me some money, but I'm letting you slide just one more day.
Could I say this one?
Yeah, so pan the camera on it real quick. Hold on.
When you say how to practice love for our people, love is love. You shouldn't have to practice it. And regardless if the state or those that's in office don't want to love us, we still have to love one another.
Yes.
We still have to love our families, our community, our children, whatever. We still have to love them, because what is life without love? That's what I wanted to say.
Thank you. Teach his own on that. Yeah, you heard it from the people. You heard I heard it from the people. Question number 3. Oh man. Personal accountability is great, but what does civic accountability look like when we finally decide to show love to each other and absolutely zero mercy to the system? Bobby, I think somebody trying to say something. The camera. We have a situation. Oh. I'll read the question again. Personal accountability is great, but what does civic accountability look like when we finally decide to show love to each other and absolute zero mercy to the system? I guess I'll start this one because I've been waiting to answer this one when I saw it. What does that look like? It looks like exactly what I didn't get to fully see and appreciate growing up, though I did grow up in a community-oriented area, though some would say that it was a drug-infested area, but I got to enjoy community activities, even though those individuals sold drugs to make those things happen, like see celebrities perform at an Easter event in 1995 at Eastside Park, seeing Biggie Smalls, Heavy D, Aaliyah, Missy Elliott, So For Real, Mary J. Blige, Wu-Tang, Fun Master Flex when he was still, younger, a little slimmer. But I got to see those things happen and how community worked together, how they took what was being penalized on some of the brothers today. They took what they had to still keep a function of what it is as a community. And some of them drug dealers told me to stay in school while I was young. And I've seen one even shot somebody in front of me and said, stay in school. So the love and the understanding of what's for somebody and what's not for somebody by choice, not just design, by choice, is real. And some of that is being taken away today. Choice is being taken and design is being given. And I'm saying all of that because as a person that wants to become a community leader, regardless to where I go and sit, stand, live, I want to be able to bring that same unification, just without the infestation of the solicitation of drugs or pornography, women half dressing with the booty falling out, just because that's where we're at, when really we can make where we at what people keep telling us to go back to, the motherland, by being just Afrocentric or Pan-African, by choice, not design. And what does that look like towards the system? We don't ask. We don't demand. We don't even take. We just don't want. So I would say it's a system of people operating without their government, a system of people patrolling and protecting their own people and any crimes that happen within the vicinity. Then and only then do we hand over those that are problematic to the system. Oh, well, this is what the government does. That's what they deal with. I love you. You may be my brother, my sister, my cousin, my friend, but you need to go over there in the end. It's just that simple. And it sounds like a joke, but it's the truth. Would you really keep a bad apple in your fruits of good apple? No, you would not. You would not. You won't even give it a second thought. Why? Because you want the good fruit. You don't want the bad. And you don't penalize the bad fruit because it was a bad fruit. It became bad because either A, you neglected it. So what does my community look like? An area where we neglect nobody. Even if you say you want to be alone in your house, okay, that's fine. You have 3 hours to yourself because you're a part of this family. You woke up this morning to the right family. So you get 3 hours to do whatever you want to do by yourself, be in your room, you gotta nostalgia, listen to your music, harm reduction, whatever you do is your harm reduction. And in harm reduction, we can't force you from not taking the substance. No, I'm not saying that you should, but if that is your thing of choice, whatever it is that you do in the name of harm reduction, and because I do drug checking, I would prefer you be in a safe space and somebody knows what you're doing. You should not be afraid to let somebody know what you're doing. You're grown. You are a grown person. Why are you afraid to say you do drugs? You are a grown person. Why are you afraid to say you a hoe? You are a grown person. Why are you afraid to say you don't believe in God? You are a grown person. Why are you afraid to act on what you see right and wrong? Hey, I'm going to just say it like it is. You grown. You afraid to say what you do. You grown. You grown. He said $50. Yeah, Doc going to be looking at this. No, his whole paycheck. But, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, young and old, young and seasoned, I'm going to say that.
Okay, thank you.
We have to do better, show better, because we all will be quick to say, we know. So if you know, show. Stop saying what you know. Do. And if that's what you do, then say it. Do you care about yourself, kid?
Yeah. Thank you, Easy.
your papers. Don't leave your papers. Don't leave your papers.